what's up guys? Today we are going to be doing a recovery stretching routine. Yesterday on stream, and if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please follow the channel, twitch.tv/masteringtricking. I'm sore, I did 169 squats yesterday, so today we're going to do a recovery stretching routine. I want you guys to follow along at home. It's not gonna be too hard, it's not gonna be too crazy, and yeah, let's get started. Our first stretch is gonna be nice and easy. We're just going to do some neck rolls. This is a nice stretch, great for taking care of your neck and for taking care of your upper body. Because tricking is a very twisting, dominant sport, your neck can get really sore. But doing some simple rolls around both shoulders will do wonders for your neck. And if you do this and you feel a point of tension, like right about here, I feel a point of tension, I'm gonna roll through that area a little bit more. Try to work through every point of tension in my neck. This routine is gonna start from the head down and we're gonna go all the way to our toes. So guys, this is gonna be a good recovery workout. And you can do these stretches for as long as you want. I'm gonna be doing each one for only like a minute or two, maybe 3 if I'm really feeling it. If you are doing this at home, do these stretches for as long as you want. Don't feel like you have to follow my routine. Do the stretch, but do it for as long as you need. All right, neck is feeling good, so let's move down to the shoulders. And for this, we're just gonna swing our arms back and forth, nice and chill. Really relax at the shoulder and let your arms swing all the way back and all the way forward. Now doing these across is really good, but we should also do them up and down. Ugh. And for me, I feel the tension right at the top. Right when I try and bring my arms back, that's when I feel the tension the most. So that's the kind of area that I'm gonna focus on as I swing my arms. Whew. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take one arm and pull it across our body. Really try to stretch through your back and through your shoulder. Pulling it forward. And we're gonna do that on the other side as well. Oh, I certainly feel it in my back when I do this. And when you do stretch, you don't just wanna like pull really lazily and weak like this. You wanna straighten that arm out and really pull to extend the muscles. And you wanna do that on both sides. Next thing we're gonna do for our shoulder is we're gonna take one arm, hike it behind our head, use the other one to grab the elbow and pull it back, trying to lengthen through this area right here. Oh. God, that feels good though. When you do stretch, you don't wanna have a super stressed out mentality. You wanna be relatively chill. If you are stressed out as you stretch, you're not gonna get nearly as good of a stretch as if you relaxed and just let your body go through the natural motions. And we're gonna do one more thing for our back, and that is the bridge. This is super good for your shoulders, good for your upper back, and an incredibly important stretch if you want to be good at tricking. And when you get into your bridge, you're gonna wanna rock back and forth, trying to push your weight onto your shoulders and trying to extend your legs. A little bit of cracking, a little bit of popping isn't too bad, as long as you don't feel a lot of pain associated with it. Now after you do a bridge, you're also gonna wanna roll your back out just forwards and backwards, just like this. Whew. But that is our neck and shoulders and upper back. We're gonna start moving a little bit lower now. So next, we're actually gonna stretch our lower back with a few really important stretches. The first is gonna be a figure 4. I'm gonna stick one leg in front, do a figure 4 with them, take the opposite. So if I'm crossing my right leg over top, I'm gonna take my left elbow and place it on my knee and try and turn my body to the side. And try and reach and really pull my body back. As I twist, try to lengthen all of the muscles down here to the side. Oh, I'm definitely feeling it, but it's good to be feeling it. If you're stretching and you're not feeling a thing, chances are you're not stretching well enough. Gotta stretch a little bit harder. All right, next we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. One thing that's super important about tricking is staying balanced with your body. You don't want your arms to be stronger than your legs, or your legs stronger than your arms, or your core all weird. You want everything to be about the same level of strength and the same level of flexibility. So if you stretch one side, make sure you stretch the other. It is super important. So the next thing we're gonna do for our lower back and our butt is we're gonna grab our leg, take our foot, put it in our opposite elbow, hug our leg like so. We're just gonna do a big circle with it, cradling our leg like it were a baby. As you do this, you really wanna try and get as much range of motion as you can. You don't just wanna do a little tiny circle, you wanna try and make it as big as you can, really moving your hip through all of it. And after you do one side, switch and do the other. Give it that nice hug and just move it in those circles. As you do this, you should be feeling it in your glute and in almost the side of your thigh, right about here, right where your hip flexors are. Now that is what we're going to do for our lower back, but next we're going to move through all the hips. And your hips are super important. If you want good kicks, good flips, good swings, you need solid hip mobility. So we're gonna stretch our quads, our hamstrings, our adductors, all good stuff. We're gonna start in a stacked position and take our back foot, grab it with our hand, pull it towards our butt, and try and drop our hips to the ground. This should lengthen our quad and give a really good stretch. Oh. And if you want to feel this stretch more, like I said, pull that knee or pull that foot in closer to your butt and drop your hips down nice and far. Now that is for the quad on our right leg. Next, we're gonna stretch the hamstring of the left leg by extending this leg and trying to put our nose to our knee or further if we can. Again, you want a slight bounce in your stretch. You don't want to aggressively headbang as you do the motion, but you do want a slight little bounce as you go through. And again, do this to your own personal comfort. If you're doing aggressive bouncing and it hurts, slow down. Give yourself plenty of time and give your body time to react as well. So we did one side, now we're gonna move to the other, but we're gonna do the same stretch. As I do this, I'm feeling that my left side is actually a little bit tighter than my right, so I'm gonna give it just a little bit more time, just because I wanna be even. If one side is a little bit tighter than the other, it's okay to stretch it a little bit longer. Again, the goal at the end of the day is to be relatively even on both sides. Now, as you do this stretch, this hamstring stretch, you don't wanna arch your back and just throw your head down. You really wanna try and straighten your back up, move through the hips to drop your chest. And try and keep your head relatively straight forward as you do the stretch. Now that is a good quick stretch for our quads and our hamstrings. Now we're gonna move to our adductors and your groin. So to do this, we're just gonna start with our legs and we're gonna do a nice deep middle split, however far you feel comfortable. Personally, when I'm starting, I like to be about here, maybe even a little bit higher. And we're just gonna move our hips through their range of motion, going forwards and backwards. Doing this should open up your hips a lot and really work the range of motion. Doing a static hip stretch like this is nice, but you wanna work the range of motion because that's what you need for tricking. And to do that, we're gonna slide forwards and backwards in our middle split. As we do this, we're gonna slowly try and inch our heels down further by pointing and flexing our toes. Now, once you get to a relatively comfortable place in your middle split, I'm about here right now, I'm gonna turn my hips and pivot my body to face one way and move into a front split. Doing this is super important because you don't just want a front split, a middle split, and a middle split, or a front split, a middle split, and a front split. You want the whole range of motion. You want to be able to go down in a front split on this side and then work through the middle split over to the other one. And as you do these splits, try and push that back leg further and further. try and make your hips as in line as possible. If you can, lift your weight up and just use gravity to push down in the stretch. Again, don't bounce too aggressive, don't go harder than you're ready, but you do want to be feeling it when you stretch. And that is gonna take some work. Don't bounce too hard, don't go too aggressive, but do give your body the time and the energy to gain more flexibility. It is work, it's not gonna come with nothing. So that is our hips and our legs. Next, we're gonna stretch our calf. Extremely important if you want to avoid injury in tricking is stretching your Achilles tendon, the tendon that connects your heel to your calf muscle. And we're gonna stretch that just by doing a mountain climber, pushing our heel into the ground and driving our hips a little bit more forward. You should be feeling it in your calf as you drive that heel down, pushing your hips back. And you can do this by switching each leg and kind of hop up and down like so. This is a nice chill bounce that should give your Achilles a very good stretch. And if you want to sustain your tricking longevity, taking care of your ankles is extremely important. The Achilles stretch is one part of that, but another part is the figure 4 ankle stretch. Hit a figure 4 with your legs and then just move your ankle through its entire range of motion. Pointing as much as you can, flexing as much as you can, looking at the bottom and looking at the top of your foot, just working it through its whole range of motion. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side as well. Remember, as you do this, you don't wanna yank your ankle one way or the other, but you also don't wanna put no tension at all. You want to find a good balance where you're stretching and you're pushing your muscles a little bit further, but not to the point where they're gonna get damaged. Now, one thing I like to do to end my stretching is I will pull my toes. Your toes and your ability to grip the ground with your foot is extremely important. And your toes do have muscles that do need to be stretched. So I will just pull my toes and kind of work my foot, pulling it back and arching, and really focusing on pulling in and over. I'll do that with every single toe on each of my feet. Just trying to really work it through the range of motion and make them feel comfortable grabbing the ground, moving, doing whatever I need them to do. Now guys, that is pretty much it. That is my recovery stretching routine that I use week in and week out. Like I said in the beginning, if you want these stretches to be more effective, hold them for longer. That's what's going to build flexibility. What I did today is more recovery, more range of motion to encourage blood flow. Now, if you guys like this content and want to learn more, go to my website, Mastering Tricking. There are progression trees. You can also find links to merch. You can get a discount on coffee, all the good things that every tricker needs at masteringtricking.com. And if you guys want to save some money on anything on my website, whether it's the curriculum to help you learn tricking or the clothing to help you represent it, use the promo code ICELORD to save 15%. But thank you guys so much, and please have a lovely day. Thank you. Huh.